The debate between evolutionism and creationism is one of the most enduring and polarizing discussions in the realms of science, religion, and philosophy. While evolutionism finds its roots in scientific inquiry and empirical evidence, creationism often draws from religious texts and doctrines. This narrative explores the historical development, key concepts, and ongoing debates surrounding these two worldviews. The origins of the debate. The conflict between evolutionism and creationism traces back to the 19th century when Charles Darwin published On the Origin of Species in 1859. Darwin's theory of natural selection provided a scientific explanation for the diversity of life on Earth, challenging the traditional creationist view that all species were created by a divine being in their current forms. Before Darwin, the predominant belief in Western cultures was creationism, which holds that a supernatural entity created the universe and all life within it. This perspective was largely derived from Judeo-Christian religious texts, particularly the Genesis account in the Bible. The belief in a young earth and a literal interpretation of creation was widely accepted among scholars and laypeople alike. Key concepts of evolutionism. Evolutionism is grounded in the scientific study of natural processes and evidence from various disciplines such as biology, paleontology, genetics, and geology. The central tenet of evolution is that species change over time through mechanisms like natural selection, genetic drift, and mutation. Here are some key concepts. 1. Natural selection. Proposed by Darwin, this process suggests that organisms better adapted to their environment tend to survive and reproduce, passing on advantageous traits to future generations. 2. Common descent. This principle posits that all living organisms share a common ancestor. Over time, species diverge through evolutionary processes, resulting in the biodiversity observed today. 3. Mutation and genetic variation. Genetic mutations introduce variation within a population, which can lead to new traits. Some of these traits may offer a selective advantage, contributing to evolutionary change. 4. Fossil record. The fossil record provides evidence of the gradual changes in species over millions of years, supporting the concept of evolution. Transitional fossils demonstrate intermediary forms between different species. 5. Molecular biology. Advances in molecular biology have revealed genetic similarities between diverse species, further supporting the idea of common descent. DNA evidence has become a cornerstone of evolutionary biology. Key concepts of creationism. Creationism encompasses a range of beliefs, but they generally share the idea that a divine being created the universe and life. Creationist views often stem from religious texts and traditions. Here are some key concepts. 1. Young Earth creationism. This view holds that the Earth is approximately 6,000 to 10,000 years old, based on a literal interpretation of the Bible's genealogies. It rejects much of modern science, including radiometric dating and geological evidence. 2. Old Earth creationism. This perspective accepts that the Earth is much older than a few thousand years but maintains that life was created by a divine being. It may accept some scientific findings but interprets them through a creationist lens. 3. Intelligent design. Proponents argue that certain features of the universe and living organisms are best explained by an intelligent cause rather than natural processes. Intelligent design does not necessarily identify the designer with a specific deity. 4. Theistic evolution. This view reconciles religious beliefs with scientific findings, suggesting that evolution is a tool used by a divine being to bring about life. It accepts the scientific evidence for evolution while maintaining a belief in divine intervention. Historical development of the debate. The debate between evolutionism and creationism has evolved significantly over time. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, the scientific community's growing acceptance of Darwin's theory led to tensions with religious groups. The Scopes monkey trial of 1925 was a landmark event, where teacher John Scopes was tried for teaching evolution in a Tennessee public school. The trial highlighted the clash between modern science and traditional religious beliefs. In the latter half of the 20th century, the rise of the intelligent design movement sought to challenge evolutionary theory from a scientific standpoint. Proponents argued for the inclusion of intelligent design in science curricula, leading to legal battles over its validity as a scientific theory. The scientific community's perspective. The scientific community overwhelmingly supports evolution as the best explanation for the diversity of life on Earth. Evolutionary theory is supported by extensive evidence from various fields, including paleontology. Fossils provide a chronological record of evolutionary changes and the emergence of new species. Comparative anatomy. Similarities in the anatomical structures of different species suggest common ancestry. Genetics. DNA analysis reveals genetic links between species, supporting the concept of common descent. Biogeography. The distribution of species across the globe aligns with evolutionary history and continental drift. While scientists acknowledge that some aspects of evolution are still under investigation, the foundational principles of the theory remain robust and widely accepted. Creationism's perspective and challenges. Creationism, particularly in its young Earth form, faces significant challenges in gaining acceptance within the scientific community. Many scientists argue that creationist claims lack empirical evidence and do not adhere to the scientific method. The primary criticisms include lack of testability. Creationist claims are often seen as untestable and based on faith rather than empirical evidence. Contradiction with established science. Young Earth creationism contradicts well-established scientific findings, such as radiometric dating and geological evidence for an ancient Earth. Misinterpretation of evidence. Critics argue that creationists often misinterpret or selectively use scientific data to support their views. Despite these challenges, creationism maintains a significant following, particularly among religious communities. Some proponents advocate for its inclusion in science education, arguing for teaching the controversy to encourage critical thinking. The ongoing debate and cultural impact. The debate between evolutionism and creationism extends beyond scientific circles, influencing education, politics, and culture. In the United States, legal battles over the teaching of evolution and creationism in public schools have shaped educational policies. The Supreme Court's decision in Edwards v. Aguillard, 1987, ruled that teaching creationism as science in public schools was unconstitutional, reinforcing the separation of church and state. Globally, the debate varies in intensity depending on cultural and religious contexts. In some countries, creationist beliefs coexist with evolutionary theory, while in others, the two are in direct conflict. The role of education. Education plays a crucial role in shaping public understanding of evolution and creationism. Science educators strive to convey the principles of evolutionary biology while respecting diverse cultural and religious perspectives. The challenge lies in fostering scientific literacy without dismissing personal beliefs. Efforts to improve science education often focus on promoting critical thinking, encouraging students to evaluate evidence, understand scientific methods, and differentiate between science and belief. Inclusive dialogue. Creating a classroom environment where diverse viewpoints are respectfully discussed, and students feel comfortable exploring different ideas. Addressing misconceptions. Providing accurate information about evolution and addressing common misconceptions perpetuated by misinformation or misunderstandings. The intersection of science and religion. The evolutionism versus creationism debate highlights the broader conversation about the relationship between science and religion. While some view the two as mutually exclusive, others find ways to reconcile scientific understanding with religious beliefs. Prominent figures, such as the late Pope John Paul II and the Dalai Lama, have expressed views that science and religion can coexist, each addressing different aspects of human experience. This perspective suggests that science explains the how of natural phenomena, while religion addresses the why of human existence and moral values. The debate between evolutionism and creationism is unlikely to be resolved in the foreseeable future, as it touches on fundamental questions about human origins, the nature of evidence, and the interpretation of religious texts. However, it offers an opportunity for dialogue and understanding between different worldviews. In bridging the divide, it is essential to recognize that both science and religion play vital roles in shaping human knowledge and experience. By fostering respectful dialogue and encouraging curiosity, individuals can explore the rich tapestry of ideas that define our understanding of life and the universe. Whether through scientific inquiry or spiritual reflection, the pursuit of truth remains a shared human endeavor.